Hey folks, it's Kevin. In this video, I'm walking you through the entire home buying process from start to finish. We'll talk about what an estimated timeline is for you and what tasks you should expect to complete along the way. Naturally, in any home purchase, the first step is to identify which real estate agent you're going to be working with. Now, I know a lot of people would suggest that getting pre-approved and meeting with a loan officer is the first step. However, I believe there's a lot of planning and education that goes into that home purchase, and so I always recommend identifying which agent you're going to be working with and following their recommendations. Once you've got a firm grasp of what your timeline is, it's time to meet with a loan officer. They're going to require you to submit financial paperwork such as your pay stubs, bank statements, and last 2 years of taxes. This way they can issue you a pre-approval letter and you'll know exactly what you're pre-approved for and where you're comfortable. You can then use that information to complete a buyer's consultation with your agent. And during this process, they're going to find out more about what it is that you're looking for in that specific type of home. They'll walk you through the entire home buying process, similar to what we're doing in this video, and answer any questions that you might have along the way. Now the fun starts. Viewing homes is always the most exciting time for any home buyer. I always recommend giving yourself 60 to 90 days during that home search, which allows you to be patient, and I feel like that just gives you a better overall experience. Once you've identified a home that you absolutely love and you decide to submit an offer, it's time for you and your agent to connect with the sellers. This way you can find out what that seller's motivations are in regards to price, appliances, timelines, and that way you can tailor your offer to those sellers' motivations to ultimately be competitive. I wish every offer was accepted right away. Typically, the sellers are going to want to send you a counteroffer to adjust some terms, and then you'll get the opportunity to decide if you're willing or unwilling to move forward with that offer. Once you do come to terms with the seller, it's time to open escrow. Escrow timelines are typically about 30 days. They can be shorter, they can be longer depending on that seller's motivation, but on average, sellers want about 30 days to move out, and it gives the lender time to finalize your loan. The first step in the escrow process is submitting your earnest money deposit. On average, sellers are requesting about 1% of the sales price of the home deposited into the escrow account within the first 3 business days of opening escrow. So you know if you're purchasing a $600,000 home, you're going to have to deposit $6,000 into the escrow account. And this is going to stay there throughout the duration of the escrow period. And if you move forward, it will contribute towards that down payment. The second thing you'll want to do is schedule your general home inspection. And on average, this is about a $500 cost, but it's very important because that general home inspector is going to tell you everything right, wrong, and indifferent about the property. They're going to send you about a 100-page report, so that way if there's anything affecting functionality or safety, you can ask the sellers to repair it in advance. Lastly, the sellers are going to have to send you their seller's disclosures, and this will identify if there were any debts in the property in the last 3 years, any insurance claims, or any leaks in the roof at any point, so that way you can ask them to be corrected if they haven't already. The next thing that you'll want to know about is the contingency period. There are 3 contingencies in any home purchase, and those are number 1, the inspection contingency. This is the time period in which you get to do your investigations, and what we talked about earlier in relation to the inspection and the disclosures, making sure that you're happy with the current condition of the home and or the sellers are willing to make the repairs that you've requested. The second contingency is the appraisal contingency. So let's say you decide to purchase a home at $600,000. The lender is going to hire a third-party appraiser who has neither interest in the seller or the buyer party, and they're going to go to the home and look at comparable sales in the neighborhood. Let's say they determine that the $600,000 home you're buying is in fact worth $590,000, which would be $10,000 less than the agreed upon purchase price. Either the sellers are going to have to come down to the appraised value, or the buyer is going to have to pay the difference on top of the money they're already responsible for paying when purchasing that home. And then lastly, the third contingency is the loan contingency. And this basically states that the buyer is able to secure financing to purchase that home. It's important to know that these contingencies are going to be due on the 21st day of escrow. And by removing these contingencies on the 21st day, you're now unprotected when it comes to your earnest money. So if you decide to back out on the 22nd day or any day prior to that 30-day escrow period, Remember that you can lose your deposit if your contingencies have been removed. Finally, 5 days before closing, you're going to meet with your agent at the property to make sure that the home is in the same or better condition as when you agreed upon buying it, and that any repairs that you ask the sellers to do, they have completed. Just a few days before closing, you're going to want to complete your loan documents and send any funds required, such as the down payment or closing costs, to the escrow company and take possession of the home. Congratulations, you're a homeowner. Now, there are other details that go into purchasing a home, but for the sake of keeping this video as concise as possible, I decided to not go that far into detail. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below and I'm happy to answer it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you found value in this video, send it to a friend or a family member, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for any future videos. I'll see you in the next one.